Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Jane Theory. Today we compare The Mandalorian and The Last Jedi. So, before we get started, I do want to say that yes, I understand The Mandalorian and The Last Jedi are literally night and day, but that's what makes me so upset and inspired this episode. I enjoyed The Force Awakens. I was looking forward to The Last Jedi. So, to get what we got in that film was incredibly disappointing. To then get The Mandalorian, which is so much better by a mile, is infuriating. You see, The Last Jedi was entirely about subverting fan expectations, and doing so in the worst possible way, by undermining beloved characters and disregarding established storylines. Compare that to The Mandalorian, which is all about meeting fan expectations. It's about nostalgia and creating a story consistent with the world we know. And then there's differences in the writing. The writing in The Mandalorian is tight. Each conversation is witty and engaging and has a point. And each scene effectively reveals more about the characters and moves the story along. Every encounter shows us more about the world as well, the economy, the history, the culture, lore, even the politics. We learn more about that in the very first episode. The Last Jedi, on the other hand, is chock full of throwaway scenes that make no sense and characters that serve no purpose, which all made the film very disjointed. It lacked the engagement of The Mandalorian, so much so that many of the characters, with little exception, are forgettable. And those new characters we had so much hope for, Finn and Poe, were trashed, not to mention what happened with Luke, Leia, and Han. The title characters in The Last Jedi lacked chemistry. Their interactions felt forced. Rey's story had potential, don't get me wrong. I mean, it had a lot of promise. But so far, they have not been able to follow through. We still know virtually nothing about Rey. Whereas we learned more about the Mandalorian in 30 minutes than we have about her in 2 whole feature-length films. The casting. The casting in The Mandalorian is incredible. Pedro Pascal's Mandalorian is believable and relatable. He has great chemistry with other characters, and we haven't even seen his face. Now, I'm not saying Daisy as Rey is the worst actress ever, but give her a better script. I mean, you got it right in Rogue One. What happened? Character development. The character of the Mandalorian is well developed, and the process of fleshing him out is well paced. What I mean is, it's actually happening, unlike with Rey. Also, unlike with Rey, while the Mandalorian is strong, he grows and matures emotionally. He's strong, but has weaknesses and vulnerabilities. He has obstacles he has to overcome by learning and being taught. He has depth as a character and a person. And in The Mandalorian, you can tell that there's clearly no effort to subvert anything, just to tell a good story. The Mandalorian, as a result, resonates with people. Rey, on the other hand, isn't as relatable because she seems inherently to know everything about everything, except, of course, where she came from. But the Mandalorian has strength from endurance and knowledge that's earned. This sends a powerful message because what makes him great arises from who he is, his substantive and meaningful interactions with the world, and the people who he encounters and who help him along his journey. All in all, you can tell that the writers and directors of The Mandalorian took great care to produce something recognizable as Star Wars, something that remembers and appreciates the fans as much as we remember and appreciate the stories we grew up with in this world. The Last Jedi had all of the potential. It's too bad that this streaming series has surpassed it. And we're just on episode 2. Well guys, that's my comparison between the two. Be sure to let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, And be sure to subscribe as well. See you next week.